Hello all, welcome to week 8. I hope that you are enjoying the snowy weather. I also hope that you are enjoying the extra time this week to focus on completing Blog 3, which is reading through your texts, selecting which ones you want to use with students, and analyzing them and presenting them all together in Blog Post 3. So, as you see this week, we do not have any discuss activities. We do not have any focus and reflect activities. Everything this week is devoted to time for you to get Blog Post 3 completed and posted online by Friday. So I just wanted to show you one thing today, and then you will have the rest of the week to work on your blog post. So down here at this bottom part of the agenda for this week, you have the assignment sheet for Blog Post 3, and I just want to highlight one part of the blog post that sometimes gets forgotten. And so I want you to see that. And that is the introductory paragraph, or the introductory section. So here we have the assignment sheet for Blog Post 3. And if we go down to right down here, the blog post should include the following parts. Here with the text descriptions, you've been practicing that the past few weeks, so you probably already know what needs to be included for that. However, there is this introductory part, this introduction. So as it says here, please begin your post with an introductory paragraph that provides a brief description of the hypothetical group of students, as well as how the text might be used together. So you don't have to write massive amounts of details for this. This isn't a one-page context for learning statement that you need to write, just a paragraph or two explaining the context of how you might use these. Do you plan to use them with a 6th grade class? Do you plan to use them with an 11th grade class? Do you plan to use them in an urban setting? Do you plan to use them in a rural setting? Etc. And explaining what is the makeup a little bit of your classroom too that you think you might have or that you want for this hypothetical situation. That will help too. That will help in, first of all, definitely help in you explaining your culturally relevant texts and how those are culturally well matched with your students for the texts you choose for those. And it will also help when describing the reader and task components of text complexity. How is the text best matched to your students or a specific set of students in your class? So don't forget that introductory section. It's just a paragraph or two, just explaining a little bit, giving a little bit of context of how these texts might be used and with what group of students. So that's that. There's definitely more information here that you may want to look into, and that's there for you. Going back to the agenda, I just want to point out one other resource that you might find helpful. Here we are back at the agenda for session 8, and there are some examples way at the bottom of the page that will be very helpful as you are starting to draft and organize your blog post number 3. There's a lot of moving parts or a lot of different pieces of information that you're bringing together, so you might need some help on how do you present this in a meaningful, easy to read, easy to consume by others way. And I do want to point out one blog in particular that does a very good job of writing that introductory paragraph, that introductory section that sets everything up. So we'll go to this math one here, order of operations. And in this blog, you'll see that the teacher starts right away with the text set. Text sets are teacher's best friends is the title that she gives Blog Post 3, and goes into describing right away the context and introduction for how these students might be used. So this text set provided below would be relevant to a group of 5th or 6th grade students who are learning the order of operations. This is a broad group, and then she goes into talking a little bit more about where this would be, what they would be doing, what they would do before, and what they would do after. So as you can see there, that's just a paragraph or two explaining the context, an introductory paragraph. And then the student goes right into explaining their text, each of their texts in the different categories. So this is an example of a good introductory paragraph if you want to check that out. Looking back, I keep clicking the record button when I'm clicking the back arrow, so I didn't mean to pause the video again, but I just want to close by saying there are many examples here of effectively organized written blog posts, so I do encourage you to come check these out. If you're struggling with thinking about how to write about your culturally relevant texts and how to explain them and link and explain how they are culturally relevant, this science blog down here on genetics might be a good example to help you with that as well. So do poke around and look at these. They will give you some guidance on how to organize and frame your text set. Feel free to email me throughout the week if you have any more questions about this, but this is all you'll be working on this week. And don't forget to read and respond the blog post 3s of those in your inquiry group by Sunday. Have a good week and be safe if you are out in the snow.